and the instability was actually to the south. And what we've seen in the last number of months, sadly, is where there had been stability, there had been peace, there is obviously a threat to that. And so when I went with our Minister of Foreign Affairs, as was mentioned, we went to do an assessment as what can Canada do. We visited the President. I met the President Barzani for the second time because I had met him in 2007. I met with the Foreign Minister as well as the President of Iraq. And it was clear that Canada had a role to immediately help all of the refugees who had to flee their homes. And that's what we must do, is to help immediately all those people who had to flee. Canadians need to know that people had to leave immediately. They had no choice. They just left with the shirts on their back. And when I met the families who had to leave, as was mentioned, the Yazidis, the Christians, and others, they were so grateful that the Kurdish people had opened their doors, their hearts, to save them. So we have to thank the Kurdish people for saving lives, for protecting people, and we thank you and thank them for what they have done. They were there. But because the Kurdish people have done their job, we must do ours. And in Canada, what that means is that we must immediately reach out and help build refugee camps, help support people who have, you've already heard, have not the support that they need. Imagine if you had to leave with your family immediately, with no warning at all, and you had to leave here and go just across the river to Quebec without any notion of who would be there for you. That's what's happened, and I tell Canadians this, it's like all of Ottawa had to leave and go to Gatineau and hope that someone would be there. Well, on the other side of the river, the Kurdish people were there to protect and to help them. So what I am calling on our government, they need to help all the people that they are protecting. Our government, our country, Canada, must help support all of the refugees, all of the people who are fled, because the Kurdish people have done that.
Mr.
Let me finish.
I have to interrupt you. It's not humanitarian that we need. We need
understand.
arms to protect our women and children who are being sold as a cheap commodity in the market.
If I may,
we need arms.
If I may, we heard that from Mr. President Barzani, and that is happening. And
a city is under siege. It's a matter of hours and days.
Absolutely.
Before they're being killed.
That's right. And so the point the gentleman is making is
another Rwanda repeats itself.
People have to have the ability to defend themselves. And I agree. What we saw on the ground was clear that all of the arms that IS had were actually, essentially had come from the arming of the Iraqi army, or the buying of arms by IS. And they have better arms than the Peshmerga. The Peshmerga are much more disciplined, they're much loyal, but it's a matter of making sure we do give the support that is needed for people to defend their land, their people, and to defend all the refugees who have fled. So finally, let me say this to all of you. In the coming days, we will have a debate in the House. I will be pushing, and our party will be pushing, for Canada to do what it has to do to help save lives, to protect people, and to make sure that the scourge and the threat of the terrorist threat of IS is not only pushed back, but is demobilized, so that people can live again in harmony, in peace. And I could go back like I did when I was there in 2007 and see a land and a people who are working for peace, who are working for justice, and who will see a better future for their children. Thank you so much for letting me speak today.